It's the Marc Clarke Morning Show. Healthy, wealthy, and wise.
Is that delicious beverage?
Duh.
Preparing students to demonstrate mastery of math state standards can feel like a dull, unending cycle of equations and practice problems. Unengaged, frustrated students can weigh on teacher confidence and lead to uncertainty about overall achievement. Two Ivy League-trained engineers observed this struggle and created a way to transform how students learn the fundamentals of math. Through the innovative Accoletics math program, EDA has helped more than 400,000 students achieve success on state-administered math tests and transformed the academic strategies and performance of schools nationwide. Accoletics' uniquely designed supplemental materials and tools are well aligned to your state standards and provide a clear path to exceed state proficiency standards. Through ongoing professional development, you will uncover common challenges and activate solutions that promise to improve student achievement in your school. By partnering with EDA and choosing Accoletics, you can start to see an unprecedented return on your investment in as little as one school year. Don't procrastinate on giving your teachers the tools to help students achieve their highest math potential. To learn how you can dramatically improve classroom instruction and learning, test scores, and student confidence, call, email, or visit Accoletics online today.
And welcome to the show, the 12:30 edition. I'm sorry, some people, I know you've missed. Some people were like, oh, no show today. And then other people, what's up, Gigi? What's up, Deidre? Sandra, I see you. Sandra, okay, so yes, and I know a lot of Sandra's connections are locked in today. We're supposed to be talking to Alex, but it looks like we're not going to get him on, guys. Sorry, I talked to him earlier today. Alex Slocum was going to be our guest, and Alex Slocum, who has GOPX, and I mean, this guy is an amazing guy. He's actually, the good news is he's coming here in February. I think February 18th, he's going to be here. I talked to him. You know how I talked to him early this morning, and I moved the show because of his time zones. He's traveling and he's busy. And you know how when I got off the phone with him, a part of me was like, he ain't gonna make us. He told me to give him a call 15 minutes before he was gonna come on. And Bootsy, you know how that goes when people are super busy. And at first he said, "Hey, yeah, Mark, look, I don't think I'll be able to do it." And then he said, "Okay, well, give me a call 15 minutes before." And so I called. The mailbox was full. I was like, "Oh Lord!" So, unless Alex miraculously hops on, he's not going to be joining us. And so, again, Alex Slocum is the CEO of Game On Players, creator of the Fusion Economy token, world's first self-sustained blockchain digital currency. Now, let me first shout out Sandra.
We need to talk to him. We need to talk to him.
Oh, my goodness. And here's the thing. Everybody, so Sandra, I was telling Sandra. So Alex has basically the background. And again, I'm ragged in this. Shout out to Sandra Pearsall. She basically taught me everything I know about crypto and whatever. But at the end of the day, the reason why his token is so amazing is that he basically had created. He was in the gambling industry, and he was trying to tie the crypto to gambling, right? And the problem was, he says, is that because it was so unstable, it was hard. It was hard to do it. If it's worth, you're gambling, it's worth, it's worth $100 right now. Now it's worth $2. It created a problem. Right. And so he created his own self-sustained economy with this blockchain. And actually, the thing about it is it does not have the ebbs and flows. And so, and he's starting to broker deals. He just got one with the NFL. He's starting to connect with companies that also is going to give his token more value, because at the end of the day, that's the whole key to the self-sustaining economy, is everybody buying in, right? And so when the NFL and the different organizations start to use it, it gives it its value. So now I am talking out of I don't know what I'm talking about right now.
No, I mean, it's great. It's great that you're giving the information. And I just think the key, one thing about maybe your listeners would like to know, or we all know, is, and I don't know if people really fully know this in this area, online sports gambling is booming in the DMV. It is booming at another level, because number one, we have the MGM, so we have the Bet MGM, and then we have Gambling Bet DC, so we have DC Lottery and the MGM Graham, literally 10 miles away from each other. So there's online sports gambling in Maryland, Virginia, and DC right now, and West Virginia. So he's definitely ahead of the curve, and now it is legal to do it in Maryland as of 2 months ago in the MGM in Maryland. So you got the National Harbor, the National Park. So he's definitely on to it, and it is a booming economy.
Well, and his thing, again, so he started off in the gambling piece. Now it's the token piece. And here's the part. His projection with the token is, I think he said, I forgot the amount, but at the end of the day, June 2023, basically, if you have a certain amount, you'll be a millionaire. And so because of that, and because it's early on, and that's why, again, Sandra, I talked to Sandra, and Sandra has many of her people, her connections are here because of the association. We can get in, right? We can get in on this as a special rate. So the good news is
the other thing, Mark, is, why it's great that we're having this discussion is, in the last month, 2 MGM sport book locations have opened in the last month. One in Southwest DC, one in the National Harbor. So they're just opening the sports book locations where you can just go in and do it. So this is the perfect time to get in, because it is starting at the ground floor right now. And I do think that projection is right. And I hope people are taking advantage of the fact that we're having a person who is already ahead of this, because it is booming at this point.
So the bad news is he is not joining us today. It looks like the best.
This is a great setup.
The good news is he is going to be in National Harbor February 18th. And again, everybody, all of Sandra's people, who are my people, we're all family. Y'all, the invoices are on the way. So at the end of the day, what happened was because of the association, because of my association, people got a lower price. Now, if you have Ethereum already, you can get that price. And so you doesn't have to do the invoice, you know.
Thank God we know Marc Clarke. Thank God we know Marc Clarke, boy.
And you can still get the price because when he comes here in February, he'll be offering it too. But again, for those who know I'm talking about, be patient. He's very busy. He basically was not home, so that's been the challenge. So in other words, if
get in on the Marc Clarke price, because in the words of Fat Joe, when February 19th come, yesterday's price would not be today's price. So you might want to hop on. You better jump in like Double Dutch. That's what you better do, as I am. It's good to see you because you even dressed up for this. You know what I mean? Like,
you know what I'm saying?
You put on a full suit, tie.
You know what I'm saying? I put in a full suit. I called him. I was like, oh man, but okay, but still, you know what's going on here? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you 100%. You look amazing and you sound amazing too. You know what I mean? It sounded like he was ready to impress somebody today. So I'm just disappointed. Say the same outfit for tomorrow or whenever he comes, because you know what I mean, he's gonna want to give you some money after seeing you look this good, Mark. I'm just saying.
It's so I'm off. You know what? I think I'm thrown off today. You know, I'm thrown off today.
Yeah. But that's why you got me though, Mark. You know what I mean? Don't worry about it, man. Call me the calculator. I'm the guy you can count on.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I called you, man.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, Sandra, we're good. We're good, Sandra. It's
I'll be calling Sandra today.
Yeah, Sandra, we're good. Again, I just he was going to be on, because today, again, to have the CEO on, and that's the other thing about that I was so excited on. That's why I put my tie on.
Right.
Because to have have the creator and the CEO on, that's a whole other conversation, right?
Absolutely. And it's crazy because you've never implemented a dress code to be on your show, but you did it without telling me. So I'm like, wow, why is it? I mean, we was with Mark 5 days next week. He ain't never looked this good. Who's coming? You know what I mean?
Let me try it one more time. I'm going to see it one more time.
Oh, man. Oh, no. You don't got to worry about that, sir.
Cannot accept new messages. Later. Goodbye.
Oh Lord, where'd Bootsy go? Bootsy, will you turn your camera off? So yeah, today's one of those days, and again, it's all good. But again, for those who were on for Alex, I apologize. And again, I figured he'd be busy because, like I said, I talked to him earlier today. He was busy, and so we did not get a chance to get him on. And again, he's traveling, so when he gets back home, he said he'll be back home next Wednesday. We'll get him on. By then, hopefully everybody will have the invoices who have sent in the orders, and then I will extend a link. I'll extend a link to everybody who's listening. You can use my link. But
so my question would be, for everybody that you're sending a link to, would they have to dress up like you two? Is it going to be a dress code? Dress up from the neck up? I don't know.
No, and so no Bootsy.
Okay.
Bootsy Vegas. So I'm going to share with you guys right now where you go, so you can go check this out. Okay. So Vegas, in other news, you see.
It's plenty.
It's
plenty of news.
You see that Joe Rogan is on the ropes. They got him on the ropes.
I don't think he's on the ropes, but if that's what the assumption people have, then it'll be. I don't want to change somebody's mind. I do not think he's on the ropes, and I think this is a great media lesson that everybody can learn from this Joe Rogan situation right now, Mr. Clarke.
Yeah, no, I agree. Okay, I'm you know what? I don't agree with you. Here, I'm going to make the points, and then you make your points.
Okay.
Like you said, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying.
You are the guru.
I hear what you're saying about the rope. Since I have a tie on, number one, when you have your own platform, as he does, you could be on the ropes and you can be canceled, but you're going to be fine because you have your own platform, and you can be canceled. Because basically, what his dynamic changed when he got picked up by Spotify. So it'd be like us right now. Now obviously we're on YouTube and Facebook. I may have my own website, so it could be on my website too. It is, but nobody watches my website. But anyway,
you don't know.
all I'm saying is, at the end of the day, these conversations very free, not policed, sometimes politically incorrect, sometimes wrong. But it's people who follow you, people who support you, people who love you. So you're not really that worried about it. Now, you get picked up by Spotify, they give you $100 million. Now the game has changed, and all that stuff you've ever said on your podcast is out there somewhere. And so it's out there somewhere. And I've listened to, just like I've listened to Howard Stern, I've listened to his show for a long time. And yeah, a lot of inappropriate conversations, a lot of this, a lot of that. It's a free conversation. So a lot of times you'll have guests on, and even yourself, you get caught up like I do, and you'll say some stuff that's off the chain, but in your mind, you're okay because you're amongst your people. When you get brought up, you're amongst the world, right? And so the game's changed. So here's the thing so if he gets if Spotify pulls the plug on Joe Rogan, he'll be fine because he has his own platform, right? If Spotify pulls the plug, if the UFC if everybody pulls the plug, unlike most people, he's going to be fine. Now, so this is we're talking about, our guest was going to be the CEO. This is the site. Go check it out. Go check that out. And then if you're interested, just contact me. Okay. But anyway, you don't have to contact me. I'm just saying there's some benefits that come with that. Now, here's my conspiracy theory part, though, Bootsy, that I have to laugh about, that I now at 55, and I can see the clear picture. Anytime a black person is pushed out there, then something's in play. NDRE basically got into the conversation about Spotify because Neil Young said, I want to pull my music off Spotify because Rogan is talking about this anti-vax stuff. Now, NDRE comes on and says, I want to be pulled off of Spotify because you guys gave him $100 million, and he says nigger, and he says the N-word, and he's a racist. So this clip comes out, boom, 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 right? And then in addition to the N-word controversy, because I've seen him do that in the past in having a conversation about whatever, he said, and I actually adopted the same thing, but I'm black, was when the N-word thing first started, 10, 15, 20 years ago, I hated that. I used to just say, let's say the word. Let's have a real conversation. But as a white person, you're playing a dangerous game, and he did. Now, the one that got him though was the comment about the Planet of the Apes. That's the one that's going to fry him and probably might pull him off of Spotify.
What year did he do that? What year did he make that comment? Just so your listeners will know.
Yeah, it was probably 15 years ago. It was years ago.
Yeah, probably before they gave him the $100 million, right?
Oh, labor. Oh no, all this stuff was back. It's back like with Howard Stern, the Howard Stern show, and Howard Stern had, before Howard Stern went to Sirius XM, and even when he's on Sirius XM, all that stuff comes back to get you now. But all I'm saying is, when I saw them, the general market push NDRE out, put her up, because normally NDRE sadly does not get any coverage, especially from the general market. Right. I knew the jig is up. So now they're coming at. If they're using an NDRE for it, then they're coming after him now. So something's going to give. They're either he's ready to get kicked off of Spotify. Something's happening, because anytime they use us, the conversation changes. Oh, Romaine says, "Hey, I know, Romaine. She says she's interested in hearing from the CEO. I know, girl. I am too.
We all are.
We all are. He's not going to join us today, sadly. And again, I appreciate you. I know a lot of people are here for Alex, and I will tell him. I say, man, he's going to say, oh, man, I got busy. But I'm gonna say,
Well,
let me try one more time.
well,
But
well, let me say this: they might be here for me too. My good looks as well. Don't say they're here for Alex, man. They may be here for me as
yeah,
well.
Bootsy, that's true. They could be here for your attractiveness. So
Sex
that was
sales,
my
sex
take.
sales.
That was my take on the Joe Rogan scandal. You, Bootsy,
Mm.
what do you say? Say you. What say
Oh,
you?
okay, well, first of all, I love your optimism. I love it. And at the end of the day, I know you do know what you're talking about. And even though I talk about this, I love your insight. I love your perspective. I love your years of wisdom. But there's one small thing we have to remember, you know what I mean, to all our listeners. When you make $100 million investment, it's going to take a lot to get somebody pulled off. That is why David Stern is still over at XM. So that's number one. Number two, breaking news that just happened yesterday. He's already been offered 2 other jobs if Spotify get rid of him. I forgot the right wing platform has
Somebody
already
said
said,
it. Rumble, I think. Somebody said Rumble.
yeah, I forgot which one it was. He has 2 platforms now that are offering him the $100 million. So number one, Spotify ain't letting that go. And as you know, unfortunately, and this could be sad to say, is that you don't the plug don't get pulled on you for saying the N word. I mean, unless you did what Whoopi Goldberg did last week, they normally don't pull you because, as we see
That's
now,
true.
there are always some African Americans who are already out defending him. See, when Whoopi Goldberg said we said last week, nobody from the Jewish community came to her defense. Black folks are already defending. I don't know if you saw 2 statements came out. Jay Prince was one of them, and
Yeah.
I don't know who the other person was. So Joe Rogan is here, but you're not gonna throw away no $100 million commitment when there are already 2 competitors for the $100 million for no Negroes. So that's why I think if he just well, you left. Now, if he'd have said about the LBG community, I'd have said, you know what, Mark, you're right. If he'd have said about the Jewish community, I would say, Mark, you're right. But I don't see him being fired for saying what he said, especially when it was already out there and he didn't say it on their network. That's the other thing. So I just think, you know what I mean? First of all, everybody who was a fan of Joe Rogan already knew this has existed. Last thing, I want to ask you this question about Joe Rogan. Do you think Joe Rogan shows for black people? Do you think that's his market?
I think here's the thing about a Joe Rogan show that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny when as a person who's very familiar with the show, and as I've been familiar with a lot of shows,
Me too. I am too. With
he's
Joe
not.
Rogan.
So he is not a right winger. That's the funny part. He's not a right winger. He is an open conversation person, right?
Right.
So he's had everybody from Cornel West to
Right.
Chappelle to Kanye to
You name it.
Tyson to Alec, to the right wingers too. The right wingers too. So he is an open, and so that's what I was saying in my mind. There's an attack brewing, kind of. The powers that be see the power of these types of. Everybody has a show now, right? And a show like his that does present not just a scripted Fox News version.
Right.
See, the
Right.
part
I
that
get you.
Tucker Carlson is on every night destroying the black community, and ain't nobody saying nothing about that. See, so that's why I'm saying I felt like something was at work because they were trying to push Joe Rogan into that same box, which his show is not that.
Right.
Does he say things that are in that box? Yes, but it's not all about that. It goes a whole bunch of ways, from drugs
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
and so even
Yeah,
the
because
anti-vax thing.
exactly.
The
Because
anti-vax thing is not he's not an anti-vaxxer. He has a conversation. He has his own supplement company. You know what I mean? So when they talked about him getting treated for whatever he said he got treated for, what they didn't say was he has his own company. So he's very familiar with a whole bunch of supplemental products because he's in the business. So he's not just some crank saying it. He's crank.
you
He's
know
a
what he is
crank.
to me? You know how I look at him? I would love to tell you what my assessment of Joe Rogan is. Joe Rogan is a sophisticated, articulate, intelligent conspiracy theorist. You know what I mean? But his messaging is very simplistic for the average person to get it. Like,
Right.
and he's very multicultural when he does it. But his whole thing has been almost like he doesn't say this is going to do this. He says, I think it may do this. I think it may, you know what I mean? He's very sophisticated and he's very open and he understands who he's talking to and he understands how to do it. And he's been mastering it, you know what I mean? Because remember, he was on the UFC thing way before everybody else was. You
Oh
know what I
yeah.
mean? Remember, so I just think that number one, he did not offend the wrong demographic. It's too big of a commitment. And I do think this is really helping him in so many ways. But people already knew this was out here. Like I kind of already knew what he was doing. Like if you know Joe Rogan, you know what he does. So I just don't think they're going to counsel him for that, in my opinion. I mean, it's too much money. It's too much of a commitment.
I think the thing that is apparent that is frustrating is that Black people don't have any organizations with any teeth. That's the part that's the most frustrating. You know, that we don't have
A central media location that really highlights our issues.
no, I mean, an organization that can come after people. Like we don't have an organization. Spectre Nation, I just changed my time for Alex, but Alex didn't make it. So rule number 1, don't change your time for a guest. But
I was confused too, Spectre Nation, so don't worry.
So yeah, and so that's the thing I'm most sad about is that we don't have we don't have an organization with the teeth. You know, with the teeth, because even if what's going on, Jennifer? Even if, we have nobody, no organization that if somebody says something crazy, that we can come down on it, and that's the part that's most frustrating. And then, like I said, Bootsy, then part 2 is the, the media, which I guess Marc Clarke Media is going to have to be that place now.
Absolutely.
We don't have because we don't have a place where everybody goes to get a take on the news or get explanations or even just a narrative.
Our concern, our concerns.
We don't have a place we can go, one place or a couple places that it becomes so a lot of the narratives, like here's the one that's crazy, right? So Harold Bell sent me a breakdown of that a young man did on who has a channel. I don't know his name. I can't think of his name. About the Supreme Court, the Black Supreme Court, the possible Black Supreme Court candidates that our president is thinking of, right? So, and in sending me the breakdown, it made me understand. So you're out in you're with young people, Bootsy. You're with young people more than I am, right? Mm-hmm. So there's a wave of young people. When I say young people, I say let's say 35 and under, who are not feeling Joe Biden, right? Now I know the old reasons. You know what I'm saying? I know the old reasons. The whole predator, blah 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 blah. Right? That's what I always thought it was. But no, it's different in that the young people are disenfranchised and don't believe the Democrats or the Republicans, right? And so this brother broke it down. And number one, from a media side, the flag popped up when, first of all, when the president says, I'm going to elect a Black Supreme Court justice, a female Supreme Court justice. Number one, why are you leading with that? That's pandering. I mean, it's pandering
100%.
And it's like, it's okay. That's out of the old playbook. I'm okay. I'm listening to it. But then, Bootsy, you're in media. When every media outlet keeps hitting us in the head with the same people, then it feels like the jig is up. It feels like you're trying to tell us you're preparing us for who it's going to be. Number one, we work in media, Bootsy. Where'd this story come from? Who gave you the list of who the president's thinking about? Now, the average person goes, oh, they did their research. A reporter did their research and found these are some. No, that's not Ain't nobody doing no damn research, okay? That's what you, when you work inside of it, that's what you understand. Ain't nobody doing no research. Everybody's rehashing the same old information. The question becomes, where did they get that information from?
Exactly.
That's the first flag that pops up, right?
Yeah, and I think the going what you're saying is everybody's not stupid. I don't think they like the fact that they think that they can sell this new wave and how we consume media. You know what I mean? It's stupid. Like we know Joe is trying to get his invite back to the cookout. Joe knows he ain't at the cookout table. He's trying to get back to the cookout.
And then, Bootsy, the part that's frightening is this gentleman broke down who these people are. Number one. So then you have my man in South Carolina who has his favorite, right? Clyburn keeps saying, again, back to the stories again. Everybody's saying Clyburn's favorite, which that's also a flag, right? Then the other
but he owes him. Well, go ahead though.
Then there's the other 3 or 4. All of them are similar in that all of them who are married to white guys.
What?
Coincidental? Most of them are not from, they're from somewhere else. I mean, the family, Jamaica, Barbados. They're not African American. They're from that. And again, that in itself is not an issue. It's just at the end of the day, there's a lot going on. Their voting records are, when you look at their voting records and what they're supporting, a lot of it is not about the typical African American experience in America. Ooh. So that being the case, this is why so many young people who are always online, who are always looking at different podcasts, are always looking at different conspiracy theories. This is why when they look at these politicians, they're viewing them much differently than the traditional 45 plus people are who get their news from watching television. Right. But the weird part is we already know that they're feeding it to us and we digest it and we spit out the bones, but the young people ain't buying it 1 cent. They're not on board at all, right? And so this is interesting. And so that's why I said, back to the initial conversation about Joe Rogan, I feel like powers that be, somebody said it best, powers that be are scared of these platforms because some people, Joe Rogan and others, have bigger audiences than traditional media. And so what does that mean? What does that mean? And so that's the interesting place. So here we are with our show that's growing, and hopefully the good news is look at Spawn. Spawn's out here spitting truth. Is this Spawn? This is Spawn. Is this you? You searching for truth. Older generation believe they found it already. Amen. Spawn is spitting jewels today. Is this Spawn? My man Spawn? Anyway, Bootsy, Bootsy Vegas is shaping the young minds. Bootsy Vegas has a program for high schoolers and is sending them off to college in media. Bootsy Vegas, what are these young kids talking about and what are they doing?
Well, really, I just think people need to understand the way and how they consume their news. I don't know if traditional media has really figured that out yet. But there's so many ways that young people consume music, what they're listening to, and also how diverse they are. And I just think the key thing is, like, what we're doing is they have to start learning and cultivating independent younger voices to connect with this next generation of what their needs, what their concerns is. Because I think one thing that we don't understand, a lot of people don't understand, is the Democratic Party is now the conservatives and then the traditional Democrats. And you would be surprised what their concerns are, what are talking points for them. And I don't know if they've even understood that it's kind of like two different concerns. You know what I mean? Like, I forgot. I'm sorry, progressives. I'm sorry. The Democrats are like, there's something called the progressives of Democrats. And the whole information or how they consume it, what their thoughts are, there's one voice you need for Democrats, and there's another voice you need to do. So I just think young people are all over the place, and I don't know if any major networkers even thought about how to connect with that part of it, because that is the messaging. Because Bernie Sanders was a progressive, per se. I don't want to say all the way he was progressive, but he was not your traditional Joe Biden Democrat. But I just know that their voices are all over the place. They're listening to a whole bunch of stuff, and you'll be surprised how they consume it. So
well, and the interesting thing again, shout out to those who came here for Alex and GOPX token.
mhm.
That's the piece right there. So what's not covered by the traditional media, and shout out to Sandra, if Sandra's still here, who's showing me crypto. So yeah, what the news is saying, what are they calling it? The big resignation, right? The news is saying that people are just resigning, right? What the news isn't saying is with crypto and all this going on, there are people, especially young people, who are sitting at home making thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars. There are people who are there are people who have become millionaires quietly.
Literally.
And so if I'm working at, let's take GOPXtoken.com, right? So I'm working at a fast food restaurant. I happen to see Bootsy and Marc Clarke talking about GOPX token. And I put in $100, which with the dollar special, that's 100 tokens, right? Which already is valued at $20. So already 100 times 20, right? So now it's next year, and I'm still working at Wendy's, my fast food restaurant, but my GOPX token is now worth $750,000.
Right, which has happened.
So, I'm 20 years old. I resign, and I'm a part of that story. People say, "Oh, these people are just walking away from their job." Yes, they're walking away from their jobs because there's something bubbling up, and there's so many. Again, back to Saunders, from the crypto piece to you have multi-level marketing crypto companies now, where you put your money in, and someone else basically handles the investment part, and they guarantee 3 to 5% return. I mean? There's all this going on that ain't being talked about on news at all, or traditional platforms, or a lot of times, even myself, I heard people talking about crypto. One of my friends, the same thing. He had a whole business. He gave up. He said, "I'm gonna focus on this over here." And I don't think, because we had nothing to compare it to, you just don't really get it. You just because there's nothing really to compare it to. You know what I mean? Because the stock market is you have to have so much money to be a player to a certain level that it's different. If you need a minimum of 2,500 or 25,000 to be serious, but then this you need a couple $1,000s, it's just a different ball game, right? And so I think, Sanders said kids are making more than both parents put together in this crypto. And the thing is, it's just getting started. It ain't gonna stop. So these kids, our thing was go get a job, make a little money, $5 an hour, $10 an hour, whatever. They're like, why would I ever do that? Why would I ever make 10 now? And again,
that's a great assessment. That's a great assessment too. Mark, I have to jump off, Mark. I really do have to jump off.
Oh, that's right. You got to. That's right. You do.
Yeah.
All right, my friend.
Well, thank you, guys. I appreciate you. Tomorrow.
All right. Tomorrow it is. Tomorrow we got doing some good in the community. You probably know her, Bootsy. You probably know her. Bootsy had a meeting. Again, thank you so much, Sandra. Thank you, everybody. Again, I apologize, Alex. He did say he is working on the invoices, but he's not home, so he's having his people do it. So hopefully you guys get something today for those who are waiting on invoices. Everybody else, check out GOPX token. We will have Alex on. He's coming to the National Harbor on the 18th. So there'll be time to get in and experience this. Thank you so much. Gigi, we need to get you on. When are you ready to come on, Jeezy, to talk about your business? Okay, we need to get you on. Matter of fact, I'm gonna send you something right now, Jeezy, because you want to come on tomorrow? Okay, Jennifer, I see you, Sheridan. Everybody have a great one. Spoon, I'm gonna holler at you. Have a blessed one. Everybody be safe. We'll see you tomorrow. Normal time at 10 o'clock. All right, y'all. Be good. Peace.
Woo!